Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Now, as I was getting ready to record this reading, 2 cards came out from my shoebox messages, and these are just words and phrases meant to connect with certain individuals in specific ways. But the 2 cards to emerge were telepathy and silence. So what I'm getting right away is someone I'm picking up on here may be receiving a lot of telepathic energy, but specifically I'm getting emotionally charged energy from this other soul to whom they are deeply connected. This twin flame, because this is going to be a twin flame specific reading video. And although, of course, only your intuition can know whether or not the person you are dealing with is a twin flame, I am going to be channeling twin flame messages and information for the collective. Now, my guides are pushing me to give a reminder at the beginning of this video that we are all experiencing different subsets of waves and timelines within the Twin Flame Collective. So even if you resonate with the twin flame label and are on a twin flame path, you may find that certain messages in this reading may not connect or resonate, and that may simply be because you are aligned with a different timeline. And of course, we are, I want to say, categorized. We are intentionally planted within these different timelines, different waves to ground the light within collective consciousness, the light of unconditional love through the experience of being a twin flame, of being someone who is consciously interacting with our twin flame in this lifetime, and in doing so, using this as a vehicle both for our own spiritual awakening, which of course impacts the whole of collective consciousness by raising the collective vibration, but also in breaking down our own internal barriers to unconditional self-love, allowing us to really radiate that frequency of pure unconditional love that again has that very powerful impact on the collective whole. I'm not really sure who needed these beginning messages, but I felt that some in our beautiful collective here needed this moments of, and I keep kind of half tripping over my words, which indicates to me for sure in this reading, we are going to be discussing something in regards to communication. I'm getting someone here who is either nervous about communication, meaning they are struggling to find the words to say something, to put some kind of word to emotion here. I'm specifically getting this from a divine masculine, especially coming through, and we will get into that later on. By the way, the number 33 just came through, and that might connect with someone in some way, but I do want to quickly channel from that number as well. Oh my gosh, guys, you guys know I like to look up these numbers as they come up in the readings, and you will not believe the channeled message from this number. The manifestation of the purest, truest, and most unconditional love. And right away, I have to tell you, and I'm starting to tear up just as I channel this, but that is the love between you and this person. It is the purest, the truest, the most authentic form of unconditional love, and it is undeniable. It is a kind of love that screams its presence in the silence between the two of you. This number 33 is also a number of ascended masters. And what I'm getting is, okay, this is a really interesting download coming through for someone, but Someone I'm channeling here, I'm specifically picking up on a divine feminine who is actually ascending so quickly, spiritually speaking, that this may have actually caused some disruption in your 3D connection with a divine masculine twin flame. Because I feel what's happened for this divine feminine is you've been ascending so quickly. It's almost had this kind of disorienting effects on you and on certain aspects of your 3D life for sure. Your 3D connections, I'm getting even with family and friends. But I feel for many of you, this has also this fast ascension. I'm hearing fast tracked ascension has also impacted your twin flame connection, because I'm hearing your guides say it's like your divine masculine has at times needed to keep up or had trouble keeping up. This doesn't speak to him somehow being weaker or lesser in any sense, but simply speaks to the fact that the divine masculine collective tends to transmute denser energies, tends to take on more wounding and focus more dominantly on the lower chakra centers, whereas the divine feminine focuses on healing, shifting, transmuting through the higher chakra centers. And because of this, when it comes to spiritual awakening, those what we consider to be traditionally spiritual aspects and elements to our twin flame journey, the divine feminine is often able to move forward much more quickly. I'm hearing lag time. So for whoever I'm channeling here, there might be a 3D disruption, disconnect, or separation. I just saw the number 707 for someone, by the way, and I am going to channel for that number as well. Let your intuition guide you in your love life. This can also be a soulmate number, a number of self-improvements, a communication barrier. So those could be trigger words that might connect with certain ones of you in meaningful ways. And whoa, my phone just flew off there. And apparently that happened because there was a card on the ground that fell out earlier that I didn't see, that you were meant to receive a message from. This is the anxiety reversed card. So when I went to pick up my phone, I actually saw this card, and immediately when I flipped over this card, I heard release your fears. Release your fears, especially for the divine feminine I am speaking to here, who with this number 707, I'm getting that because this can be a soulmate number, you may have found yourself recently connecting in with a romantic soulmate in the absence or in the lag time of your divine masculine catching up to your level of ascension. Allow things to unfold naturally. Allow yourself to follow your intuition, as the channeled message from the number said, while also releasing your fears, releasing your need to control the circumstances here, to control the timing here. I'm also getting something around that word self-improvements. I feel that this could speak to the fact that it's necessary for both the divine feminine and divine masculine to be really self-reflective at this time. And if there is a separation or disconnect between yourself and your twin flame counterpart physically, which of course separation is nothing more than a perceived disconnect, because energetically, spiritually, you and this other soul are always in resonance. You are always connected because you share an identical core soul frequency. But if there is some kind of perceived and potentially painful or confusing disconnect in the 3D, know that in part, this could be a divine placement so that both you and your counterparts can focus on self-improvements at this time. Now, I am finally going to pick up my phone. I had to channel that full message from the anxiety reversed card. Now, in the extended version of the reading, I am going to be channeling more spirit guide messages for the divine feminine around following your intuition. So for any of you who may be experiencing some kind of separation from your twin flame in this situation, who may be connecting with the message of calling in soulmates, whether these are platonic or romantic soulmates, who are entering your life at this time to support you. And that was another message coming through very strongly, that you either already have attracted in or will soon be attracting in soulmate relationships, connections. Now, again, these could be platonic in nature, or they could be romantic, depending on your free will, your desires, and the circumstances of your twin flame path physically in the 3D at this time. But regardless, you already have called in these soulmates, or you will be calling them in soon, for the purpose of supporting you in a more tangible way along your spiritual path. So again, I will be channeling more for you, Divine Feminine, on that in the extended, which is always available in our beautiful Twin Flame Soul Tribe community on Patreon. I do channel additional readings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays exclusively for Patreon. So as a member on Patreon, you get access to those 3 additional extended readings per week. So that averages out to 12 additional readings per month. And again, the information on that will be in the pinned comments and description box under the video. And I will also be sharing as we go along what other points and details we will specifically be channeling into in the extended reading. The number 1818 may also be connecting with someone, because this card, the anxiety reversed card, is the number 18 card. But also when we think of the number 18, we think of reaching a point of adulthood, a point of maturity. And I'm hearing that, wow, this huge message just came through, that this is a turning point on your spiritual path as well as your counterpart's path. I am picking up that there's almost this coming of age experience happening for both the divine feminine and divine masculine here, spiritually speaking, regardless of what you consider to be your earth age by earth years, which of course is really irrelevant because time and age do not exist at the energetic level. But what I'm getting is, for the masculine, this sort of, as we're calling it, coming of age experience is him reaching a point of spiritual maturity where his eyes are going to be increasingly opened, where he is truly being awakened and activated enough to fully grasp the depth and the intensity of this twin flame connection that he's always felt subconsciously, unconsciously. But now it's like his eyes are fully opened. He's going to be consciously tapping into the truth of this connection and holding to that truth more intensely and more consciously. That word consciously keeps coming out because, again, the masculine has always felt this intensely magnetic pull to the divine feminine, but often this pull was coming from a very subconscious space. And that will no longer be the case moving into the future. This is going to be an increasingly conscious experience of pull, of magnetism, of spiritual connection for the divine masculine. I'm getting that many of them are exploring spiritual topics, material context, concepts, if I can speak. See, whenever I'm trying to channel the masculine here, these communication blocks seem to come up, these throat chakra blocks, which really tells us there is something this masculine may be struggling to communicate to the divine feminine. So I will be sharing more on that. But for the divine feminine, this coming of age, so to speak, spiritually, I instantly heard it was coming into your voice, coming into your power. Taking all of that spiritual knowledge and information you have been accumulating, those skill sets you've been accumulating and changing that from something that is, I should say, transmuting that from an energy, from thought streams taking place in your mind to some kind of physical, material, highly visible reality, meaning it's something other people can either visibly see and detect in you, in your words, your interactions, your language, your conversation, or it's something they can detect because of a shift in your visible work, in your visible life path. So, of course, take that as it resonates with you, Divine Feminine. A card just flew out of the deck. And this is rest and rejuvenation in the upright position. I'm hearing give your heart a break because this is sitting on the heart center. I'm getting the energy from a Divine Feminine who has spent a lot of time trying to figure something out when it comes to love, something that has felt very heavy or very confusing or even painful, unclear at this time. And what I'm getting from your guides is when something feels unclear, it feels as though you just can't quite figure it out. Or for some of you, this might be making a decision. You might feel this kind of foggy back and forth energy when it comes to love and relationships specifically. Know that this is an indicator that you are not meant to figure anything out, to push yourself into some artificial sense of knowing, but to actually allow your heart time to rest, time to simply be with yourself, to be in your own energy. What else does this Divine Feminine need to know? Wow, I feel the tearing up starting to come again. There is such an emotional energy happening today. Let me know if any of you in the comments listening to this reading have experienced any kind of outpouring of emotion the last 24 to 48 hours, because I'm really feeling that from some of your energy fields. Magician in the Mirror upright. This is my number 2 twin flame card. I have 2 cards that signify from my guides a kind of confirmation of twin flame connection, and this is one of them. And keep in mind, I've only pulled 3 cards so far from this deck, so that's very significant. But also the fact that this card represents the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine. I instantly heard when I flipped this card over, you need to know, Divine Feminine, that things are balancing out. Let yourself breathe. Give your heart a break. Relax around this situation. Again, let go of your fears with that anxiety reversed card coming out here first. I'm getting that some Divine Feminines, especially in the last week, may have felt some especially heightened sense of anxiety or being a little bit wired emotionally, which could be why some of these messages are coming through of allow yourself space to breathe, to be with yourself. Give your heart a break. And don't feel like you have to somehow figure something out when it comes to this that feels very foggy or unclear to you. Clarity will come. That's what I'm getting as well. I am going to pull a Starseed Oracle card for you also, Divine Feminine. Earthed, of course. Learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. And I felt this overwhelming sense of I want to go home. Sometimes I feel like I don't belong here, like I don't belong here on earth. I feel that on top of this twin flame situation and that many of you are experiencing in a very 3D, physically manifested way, you could simply have this overarching sense of where do I fit? Where do I belong? I just want to be seen. I want to be understood. I'm picking up energy from a Divine Feminine who has a gift for seeing others clearly, clairvoyantly, so to speak, who has a gift for understanding others empathically. But a burden for you in this life is having this gift of understanding and of clear sight, but never feeling deeply understood or clearly seen yourself. It's the path of all ascended masters, is what your guides are telling me. That's why the number 33 came out earlier, because you aren't here to experience the same path as those around you. You were here to be on that ascended master's path to, I'm getting the word isolation. You might feel very isolated at times, to be separated in order to be an example, to be a beacon. I'm hearing that Bible verse about how you don't put a candle under a bush, and you are like that candle. You are that light. You are separated and in a sense elevated for the purpose of beaconing that light, of radiating that light, of being seen. But it can be very lonely and very isolating at times. It's a path of unconditional love that you are on, and this twin flame journey has been integral to that unconditional love path, because it's been teaching you how to break down walls of separation that have caused you to mistakenly believe, as all humans do, that we are separate from one another when truly we are all connected. And through being so intensely spiritually, energetically connected to your divine masculine, to this other soul, in a way that you can't quite comprehend or explain, in a way that at times even feels painful, even feels confusing. Through this has been a vehicle teaching you true connection, teaching you how to feel connectedness with everyone and with everything, and most importantly, with your inner self. And that is true unconditional love. And I just sense this radiating admiration from all of the spiritual forces supporting you. I feel someone here has had a father or a grandfather pass on, because I'm feeling that energy really strongly around someone as well. It's almost like this embrace kind of coming in and saying, I love you. I see you even if others don't. I admire you on your path, on your journey. I see all of this spiritual support radiating, this love, this admiration, cheering you on. But in the physical, it's like then it kind of pans out to you in the visible realm, and you're standing there alone. But know that that visible realm we live in is so often an illusion, because Divine Feminine, you are not alone. You are so incredibly spiritually supported. And as I mentioned earlier, I do sense, regardless of how things may be for you right now in the physical, if you're feeling very misunderstood and alone, your guides have heard this request, even if it's been an unverbalized request, simply radiated through your sense of loneliness, sense of isolation. They've heard this request, which is really a request for materialized spiritual support. And I feel that coming in for you. I'm seeing stability, if you aren't already experiencing it, when it comes to abundance with finances in your spiritual work, your spiritual path. I am seeing soulmates come in, again, platonically or romantically, to provide you with emotional support. I'm hearing a shoulder to lean on. So remain open to that spiritual support that is going to begin to materialize more and more around you. Wow, I did not expect such powerful messages coming through for the Divine Feminine Collective. I just saw the number 777 also, which can represent very good luck, abundance. I feel you, Divine Feminine, in this, I want to call it lucky, but it's not lucky. It's this high vibrational, and because it's so high vibrational, a rare kind of energy that is surrounding you, because you've cultivated it, because you've had the courage to do the inner work, to face your shadows. You have so much to be proud of, so much to admire about yourself, just as you are admired and supported by the spiritual realm at this time as well. So I don't know what Divine Feminine needed those surprisingly in-depth messages that came through, but I really hope that reached you. Now, in the extended version, of course, I will be sharing more from your guides, specifically about what came up earlier regarding following your intuition. So the link to the extended is in the pinned comments and description box, but I do want to go ahead and shift into the Divine Masculine energy field. So what is going on with the Divine Masculine? Angel of Strength upright. Wow, powerful message just came through. The higher self of this divine masculine connected with you, divine feminine, is actually part of that team of spiritual support that I mentioned earlier that was embracing you, admiring you, cheering you on. This masculine is part of a team of souls that has followed you through lifetime after lifetime, which of course, being a twin flame makes sense because you share the same core soul frequency, and because the law of attraction governs our universe, lifetime after lifetime, like frequencies, similar frequencies are drawn together in this kind of eternal dance. And so you and this masculine are continuously pulled back together in a way that I feel, even if you are separated right now, even if there is a disconnect, a separation in the physical, there's something about it that to your souls, your higher selves, I don't want to say it seems funny because it's causing a lot of pain in the 3D, but to your higher selves, it's almost like your higher self and this masculine's higher self are in this 5D space, this higher realm, looking down at your 3D selves who believe themselves to be separated and teasing each other about it. And it's like what they're saying is, wow, we seem to do this every lifetime where we pull apart and convince ourselves we're separate and then come back together again. And in these in-between spaces, between lifetimes, we are always connecting. We are always together. I keep hearing the word spiritual mission. So I feel that the self-improvement that both counterparts are doing at this time is actually a really integral piece to the puzzle when it comes to your spiritual mission that is shared together. But with this Angel of Strength card upright, I instantly heard this masculine's higher self. And again, when I say higher self, I mean this could be the unconscious self, the 5D self, the highest vibration, the highest timeline version of ourselves, where you and your twin flame are always perfectly in alignment and connected. So depending on our level of wounding, our level of negative patterning, how we're allowing energy to flow, where our vibration is at in the 3D, we may or may not be aligned consciously with this higher self in all moments of time. In fact, we come here to earth knowing that we will not be in full perfect alignment with this higher self. And that's really the purpose, because we're meant to bring more of that higher vibrational energy down to the very dense earth plane. But I see this masculine saying, be strong. Such a simple message, but so powerful, coming through from a higher self of a divine masculine to a divine feminine. I'm also getting fire sign energy in someone's birth chart here, sun, moon, or rising. Caring connections reversed. I know, divine feminine, you felt uncared for in the 3D by my 3D self, and I pushed you away. And my higher self, it's almost like the higher self of the masculine here is apologizing for the actions of his less conscious, lower vibrational self. I pushed you away. Woman holding a coin upright. My lower self at times is still dealing with this karmic patterning. This could simply be negative thought patterns, negative behavior patterns, or of course it could be manifested as what we think of traditionally as a karmic connection, relationship, situation. With cornucopia reversed, you, divine feminine, I hear this masculine's higher self saying, you were the manifestation, you are the manifestation of my heart's every wish. Every dream I've ever dreamt, the 1111 card. But at this time, with rest and rejuvenation upright, it's time for me to heal. It's time for me to heal. What is this masculine healing at this time? Blossoming abundance reversed and door to spirit reversed. So I'm getting that this masculine with blossoming abundance reverse can speak to feeling really overwhelmed. And I get that this masculine may have been at times overwhelmed by his own emotions, by the spiritual connectedness that he felt within this connection. With door to spirit reversed, this speaks to repressing or denying one's intuition, one's knowing of spiritual truth. And I feel this masculine's higher self saying, what I am healing most at this time is a pattern that I've had of becoming overwhelmed by my own spiritual nature that I've been repressing, because I've picked up patterns of this spiritual self-repression from the collective, unawakened, wounded masculine. And I am in the process of throwing off this patterning and rising to the divine masculine level of frequency, to that highest frequency version of myself. But these patterns have been very dense and they do bog down my 3D self at times, causing me, again with caring connections reverse, to act in ways that make you, divine feminine, rightfully feel unsupported, uncared for, left abandoned, left destabilized in the physical 3D world. Go towards your new beginning, your moment in the sun, beautiful divine feminine with the sun card upright. I always meet you. I will always meet you on your highest vibrational timeline if you choose to connect with me in that time and place and space in the universe. We always align as we each rise to that highest vibrational version of ourselves. And regardless of what my 3D self might be saying at times out of fear of losing you, my higher self wants to see you rise, wants to see you succeed, wants to see you embrace your new beginning, whatever that looks like for you, divine feminine, this new phase of your life. Rising in wisdom and understanding with the thinking woman upright. You are so wise, beautiful divine feminine soul, because you have accumulated a deep reservoir of spiritual knowledge and information, not just from this lifetime, but from many lifetimes. And I feel this masculine almost teasing, saying, and I know this because I've lived many of those lives with you. I've been there by your side, and we both remember this in those unconscious places within us. I'm seeing something about sunny weather for someone. But at the bottom of the deck, we have somewhat a hidden emotion from the 3D self of this masculine, which is anxiety, which is nervousness, the solar plexus chakra reverse, which is a lack of confidence, even if he's putting on an air of confidence in 3D. And I feel this is where that kind of communication blockage sensation was coming up a lot. That interference when I was trying to channel the masculine was, I said earlier, because I felt there was something he was struggling to put into words. So in the extended version of this reading, I will be channeling more into what specifically this masculine may be feeling nervous or anxious about saying or struggling to put into words in the 3D. So again, the link to those extended messages on Patreon is in the pinned comments and description box under the video. But for now, I do want to pull just one final Rumi Oracle card. Divine Mother manifests, and I'm just going to read a little bit from the guidebook here as well. O you, living in the world of 6 directions, accept the gloom and accept the bliss, for those seeds buried in the ground will one day grow into fruitful orchards. Rumi. And I'm going to read a little bit later on in the guidebook as well. You are being asked to receive this gift completely and utterly, whether you feel sufficiently worthy or not. It is time. And the bestowal of this gift is as it should be. And I'm hearing the gift. The gift is the new beginning. The gift is this next level you are rising toward and being called to embrace. In spite of your fears, in spite of that sense of isolation, of differentness from those around you that comes up from time to time. Fear of leaving someone behind. Including potentially for some divine feminines, there could be fears of rising to that new beginning, thinking, am I abandoning or leaving behind my divine masculine counterpart? So I'm going to read a little bit more here also. This oracle comes with additional guidance for you. No matter whether or not things appear to be working out, they are, and you are held in loving protection to keep you from straying from your highest path and highest destiny. There is work here for you to do upon this planet in your own unique way. It is the work of the Divine Mother, the work of love. So, wow, that feels like a really powerful place to close this reading. In the extended version of the reading on Patreon, of course, we will now be diving into more details that came up earlier in the reading. I will also be channeling more into how both the divine feminine and divine masculine may be consciously thinking and feeling at this time, how I see this situation potentially moving forward into the future, as well as higher self-love messages from both the masculine and feminine to one another. So again, all of those additional messages are in the Patreon reading, which is linked in the pinned comments and description box under the video. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your week and weekend, and I will talk to you again in Monday's reading.